Netherlands, France coming up at 8. We're going to speak to Julien Laurent, French football expert, in a few moments' time. Before that, our own Alex Crook has popped along to the Olympic Stadium in Berlin to watch the next game, Poland, Austria. Good afternoon, Crookie.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a wet Olympic Stadium. Once again, I've made the mistake of not bringing a coat, and the heavens have opened.
It's following you around, isn't it? I've noticed that. I've seen you kind of a bit drown ratish a few times out and about. So have you not bought a coat? Have you not invested? Get Simon to buy you one.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. I think he can probably afford it. But literally, I think I've had one day of sunshine since I got here. Everywhere I've gone, as you say, it's rained. When I left Düsseldorf this morning, the temperature here in Berlin was 27 degrees. Now, all of a sudden, it's just grey skies everywhere. But I've got to say, the atmosphere here between the Poland and Austria fans, and they've come in numbers you'd expect, it's a real party atmosphere, a real mood of optimism, probably the complete opposite of what all you guys are feeling back home after that terrible England performance last night.
Yeah, let's talk about Austria though, because there's one thing I noted the other night, that the way they play with Rangnick, it's clear that you as a Manchester United fan, the players obviously never bought into what he wanted, because that press that they do is incredible.
I think you're spot on, actually, and Jim White on his show tried to get me to apologise for nicknaming Rangnick Wreck-It Ralph, but his record at Manchester United was poor. I would defend him and say an interim manager is on a hiding to nothing, really, particularly in a dressing room where you know you've got some problematic characters, shall we say, because they're not going to invest in it, and they didn't, and it was a disaster for Manchester United. But what you can see from this Austria team is the players are invested in the manager, they believe in him, and he clearly believes in them, because it was a big call, wasn't it, to turn down those overtures from Bayern Munich before this tournament. He obviously feels like he's building something here. Vincent Kompany was probably the big winner from that decision, but I actually think Austria might win tonight, and I think they're going to progress to the knockout stages.
Just quick one before I let you go, Alex, on England. We had Stan Collym on earlier on. He's calling for a 3-4-3. You'd like to see him go back to what worked in the Euros against the Germans and others. Do you think Gareth will do that?
Well, I'm not sure we've got enough centre-halves, have we, to do that, and Gareth, as we know, is certainly not a revolutionary manager in that mould, but I do expect changes. I think for me the answer to England's problems is staring them in the face. You need to play Jude Bellingham in alongside Declan Rice. That would allow Phil Foden to play in that number 10 position and hopefully finally show his best form in an England shirt. And I'd probably bring in Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side, just to give defenders something different to think about. I don't actually think you need to overcomplicate it too much.
That has been a kind of Gordon getting involved with some width on the left.
That's what I do. I go Bellingham, Rice, Foden,
and as Stan said, that understanding with Trippier, who's not in his natural position, but having a teammate alongside him, will help, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a fantastic shout. The Trent Alexander-Arnold experiment, and I can't believe we've got an England manager using the word experiment in the group stages of a major tournament. That seems absolutely crazy to me. It doesn't work for this England team, because Trent's biggest asset, if you're going to play him in midfield, is the ability to hit a 40-yard Hollywood ball and get players running in behind. Trippier's not going to do that from left-back, because he always wants to come inside. Kyle Walker doesn't really do that. Foden doesn't do that because he wants the ball to feet, and Harry Kane wants it to feet as well. So it's an absolute waste of time playing Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield. I don't think we'll see that again this tournament.
Enjoy the game, Alex. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Poland, Austria up next. Natalie Sawyer will be here shortly.
That's a classic there, tonight's session from the Trent Alexander experiment.
Yes, that's right. Jazz, rock, jazz. Netherlands, France is the pick of today's games. 8 o'clock kickoff.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.